Hey, here's a little disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast do not necessarily reflect those of the MAWP organization. And there are some themes and subject matter that may not be suitable for all audiences, so viewer discretion is advised.
Yeah, we haven't been able to really see any movies lately. I do want to see the, and I think tickets are on sale now. Actually, tickets are on sale now.
For what?
Godzilla, King of Monsters.
Oh, we have to see that. We have to see that. I'll see that. That will be a 3-hour movie that I will sit through.
Yeah. Well, that's 2. That's 2 hours.
That's awesome. That made it even better.
That's 2 hours.
The initial buzz from it's pretty good. I haven't seen the previous Godzilla movie. I did see the one.
The previous one was I mean, it was cool, but it was just like the last one before that, kind of, in a sense. It just kind of had the same vibe, so it didn't really have.
I felt like that too.
Impact.
Yeah. And
But this one, it's like they're bringing back all of them. They're bringing back Mothra and the other ones. I was like, fuck yeah. Kick some ass.
Let's
Christopher.
What? Hey, Godzilla is badass, man.
let me
You're gonna be sitting on the edge of your seat.
introduce the show here because I'm so bad about things. I listen back to the show and I'll say, "Oh, didn't introduce the show this week," or "Oh, I introduced the show, but I didn't introduce the host this week." And so let's see. And I don't write anything down. I don't script anything most of the time. So let's see. This is the MAWPCAST 1 radio program from Tacoma, Washington, and we come here every week to play songs from Tacoma bands and bands from the greater Pierce County area. Local music. We're a local music podcast, and we'll also talk about things in the meantime. It's totally unprofessional what you guys are doing over here while I'm trying to do this. Whatever's going on with the phone and the whispering.
But
This is like,
Christopher, I was telling him to put his phone away.
No.
And so it was my phone that went off.
Well, I didn't realize
but
that.
he
it
was totally just in the
I
zone
thought my
there.
phone dinged, so I was turning it off.
you know that I don't care.
But
if
it was
the
her
does.
phone,
I don't
and she's
care.
done nothing.
Well, now,
so
yeah,
so
we're
who's
fine.
the responsible one here?
So
We're fine.
we're the host of this program.
Welcome to the MAWPCAST.
That's right. I'm Potter. This is Soundman Chris, and this is Ashley Marie. And the formalities are mostly out of the way. I think that's the main thing.
I think, yeah, we're done.
I'm used to being more awake, having more coffee by the time we start. So
Yeah. Me too.
I
But
swear by the donut lady. She makes the best coffee.
yeah,
this tea is
She
fucking
does.
raging.
I feel
hot.
like I make the best coffee.
Probably.
Well,
Everyone likes
Do you use
their
a
own.
French press?
no, I just use regular old little, kind of a little Mr. Coffee kind of thing,
Oh,
a
okay.
small one. And
You had a French press at one time that you did use.
I
though,
did. I did. I've had a French press, and then for a good while I had a nice cup I got from REI that was a French press cup. It was about this size, and it had a handle, but it had a little thing on the bottom you can screw off. I've got actually a similar one now, again, but it's a little smaller. But you can screw the bottom off, and it's got a little container where you can keep coffee in it. Right? It's got just enough coffee that you can then pour it into your cup, screw the bottom back on, and then pour your hot water in, and then put this thing on the top, press it down, and then good to go. You can drink it. Yeah, it's like, so the lid is a French press.
All right. So
I
that's the
want that.
filter type thing.
I said I want that.
It's rad. The one that I got from REI was like $30 when I got it in 2012, and I used it for a good year before I ended up losing it, leaving it Safeway sometime. But I loved it. Loved it. It was it kept things good and warm or good and cold for a long time. And then the French press thing was so it came in such handy because then all you needed was hot water. And I could go to Starbucks and say, "Hey, can I get a cup of hot water?" And sometimes they give it to me. Usually they will. Almost always they'll give you a cup of hot water. It's very rarely that they won't, unless you've asked for 3 in a day.
How did you find that out?
How did I find what out?
That they won't give it to you if you ask 3 of it.
Well, because there's a Starbucks at Safeway, Starbucks kiosk at Safeway, and then there was also a cafe at Safeway where you could just sit all day and many people would. So I'd go in there and use my computer because they've also got free Wi-Fi. It was very convenient. That Safeway by where I used to live on 38th. They had a lounge, which is no longer, they don't allow people to use anymore for similar reasons. Vagrancy, mostly. But, shit, man, you go in there, you're at Safeway, there's food, there's a bathroom, there's Wi-Fi, place to sit, like coffee place. And like, why not? Yeah, I made good use of it for a couple different periods of time.
Nice.
Yeah, it is a shame that they just couldn't police it more and keep it more under control so that it could continually be used. But rather than do that, they just let it progressively get worse and worse until they closed one thing off or cut one option off or whatever.
The world's kind of getting crazy. Yeah, my friend and I went to Laser Bowie last weekend. That was
this adventure.
That was a fun time. Like, Laser Bowie's probably on my list of the best thing I've ever done, other than the helicopter ride Chris and I did.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool for me because I've always wanted to see a laser dome, and I was just in shock that I got to. And, you know, I felt like it was 1982, you know. So I really liked it. But, begin the story, we were going to go to Seattle, go do that, but we wanted to go to Pike's Place first. So we're like, okay, let's park near Pike's Place so we don't have to walk too far. And, you know, it's kind of only 9 minutes from the Pacific Science Center, so it's all going to work out. So we park the car, and she pays for the ticket with cash. So she pays for the ticket, puts it in the car. We're like, okay, let's go. We got our GPS. We're looking at the GPS, and we're walking. We're like, okay, we have 6 minutes to get to Pike's Place. Get there. We're having a good time. We go and have a beer. We're like, okay, well, let's go to another beer place. And we're like, oh, it's almost time for Laser Bowie. So we go to Laser Bowie. Everything's fine. By the time it's 9 o'clock once we're done. Good early time. Okay, let's go home now. It's perfect timing to go home. We decided, okay, let's go find our car. Well, we went to where we thought the car was. The car wasn't there. We're like, okay, well, it must be on this street somewhere. You know, it has to be close. It was only a 6-minute walk. We're walking. Like, okay, we still can't find the car. So we walk all the way down to First Avenue and walk up that. Go up to 2nd Avenue, walk that. Go up to 3rd Avenue, walk that. 4th Avenue. By the time we got to 5th Avenue, it was already 3 hours.
Wow.
It was 12 midnight, and I said, we have to figure this out. Like, we have to find somebody. So we go find a parking attendant, and this guy was really nice. He was like, okay, well, let's go drive around the lots and see if we can find it. And, you know, cars a lot faster than walking. And people are really weird at this point. People are yelling at us. They're going, help me. You know, there's just a lot of homeless people and stuff going on in Seattle. That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But, so, anyway, so this parking attendant's driving us around, and he's starting to drive like a maniac. He is going down lanes the wrong way, cutting people off, running red lights. He's doing the whole thing. I'm getting nervous. I'm like, okay, I'm over this whole day now. I'm like, we just need to figure this out. So I'm like, we need to get out of this car. I'm going to call Chris. Chris is going to come pick us up. But we need to call the police. So we call the police, and then we have to wait for him. So then he comes, and he's all looking around for the car for another hour. So we can't find the car. Like, oh, my God. Okay. So we had to pay for $80 Uber to get back to downtown where my car was. I had to give her my car, you know, because I felt bad, and she needed to get home. So I let her have my car for the day.
They still haven't found her car.
They still have not found her car in Seattle. Yeah, it is still missing. That car is still
somewhere. It's been a couple days now.
It has been a week.
You know, I think that it got stolen.
It had to.
What was has it been reported stolen?
It was a Jeep.
We had to report it. When we filed the police report. We filed it stolen, but yeah.
So
that was
stolen
an adventure. It was a very
because
fun
it probably
adventure.
didn't get impounded because they're parked in a place that they paid for. So.
But the only thing was, if she had paid with the card, she would have known where it was.
Yeah, it would have said where it was.
But because we paid with cash, that was the problem. But also, what I don't understand is you have to pay for the ticket, but you have to put the ticket back in the vehicle.
Yeah.
How are you supposed to know where you parked? like, you know.
Well, well, that's what I was saying. You just got to get into the habit of looking at your cross streets. Look at the street you're on, the cross street.
Still,
at least
you know
that'll give you some sort of a thing.
Well,
I just feel it contradicts itself.
Just accept that it was stolen. And,
yeah, moving on from that.
Yeah.
I told her she just needs to start over. It is what it is. Buy a new one.
I don't know whether to go stolen car or David Bowie.
So lost. Like, I'm like, we literally walked 6 minutes.
Oh man.
There's just nowhere else it could have been. Like, there's just no explanation for it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, she had like the security key lock where you can only open it with the key. But it was broken at the time. So somehow someone got into it. I'm starting to think maybe someone accidentally took her Jeep. They went home left their Jeep.
Maybe
and took her
her
Jeep.
ex-husband
Maybe.
had the key. And
Maybe. But yeah, that was
because
my fun story of the week.
if her car was impounded, they would notify him.
Yeah.
And then...
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was working at Thunderbird about 20 years ago. Maybe less, actually, 18 years ago. So, 18, 19. I was working out there, and I had this Subaru that I'd only had for about a month. I didn't have it very long. I got it so that I didn't have to commute on the bus out there because the Thunderbird was out there on Waller Road, and they're in 72nd, and there's not a lot of buses that go. In fact, there was no bus that went down 72nd and Waller at that time. It went to 72nd in Portland, and so I was going home one night from work, late night, maybe 11 or 12, because I'd closed that night, however late it was, and I ran out of gas, and so I walked to the gas station, and I bought a gas can, and I put gas in it, and I took it back to the car, and I put it in the car, and the car wouldn't start. I was like, yeah, it was a hassle. So I was like, okay. So I hitchhiked home, and I lived out here in Tacoma on 8th and Prospect South. And next morning, I had my roommate, Cody, drive me to work and pick up the car, and the car was gone. I was like, oh, that's great. So I thought it might be impounded, went to work, called around to see if it had been impounded anywhere, and didn't find out anything, and eventually I just had to report it stolen. So my car was stolen. It was stolen on a Thursday night. That was the night that I was going home. So Friday morning I was at work reporting it stolen, and there goes my everything. I got to go back to the bus, and I have a stolen car. So go through the weekend, go to Monday. I'm going to work on Monday, get off the bus. I'm on Portland Avenue and Waller Road, standing there waiting for the light to change, and all the cars are at the place. And then I see a car. I'm here on the corner of 72nd and Portland Avenue, and there's like the Kmart that's right behind me, and there's, Safeway on the other kitty corner. and there on 72nd, I see my car. And I go, fuck, that's my fucking car. That's my fucking car. And I'm like, is it my car? And then it turns, and I see the side, and I'm like, that's my fucking car. And then it pulls right into the Kmart parking lot where I'm in. So I'm standing on the corner, and I'm turning and watching it. And then it pulls in, and then it turns, and then it parks. Oh, so close to me. And so I'm acting very casual, and I don't cross. I just casually take a couple steps back and pretend I'm waiting for the next crosswalk. And I just kind of casually watch this man get out of this car and then walk towards the Kmart. And I'm like, do I still got the key? And I start looking around. Oh, fuck, I do. I got the key on me. So I go and sneak around this bush and then go around behind. And I actually follow the guy into the store a little bit. And then once he's in, I double back. And then I go to my car, start it up. And it's a wreck in there. It's just a fucking shambles. Like, it just been like, the dude could have been forebuying it or something. Like, I don't know what's going on. So I'm like, oh, fuck. And so I started up. I was like, what do I do? Do I pull back and then run him over when he comes out of the store? Or do I take it over to the gas station and use the phone and call the police? Or what do I do? What do I do? Take it to work? I'll take it to work. I'll take it to work because I probably shouldn't run the guy over. It's probably a bad thing.
You probably wouldn't be here right now if you ran the guy over.
I think I could have gone off. But
could have got off.
So I pull out of the parking spot, reverse it, and I start to go forward, and I have to then turn to the right and brake to watch for traffic. As I start to brake, it's no brakes. Brakes aren't working. What the fuck? The brakes aren't working. Pump. They're not working, and I'm sliding out into the street. So I just go with it. There's no one coming, so I just go with it, and I get into the turn lane, trying to go very slowly, and I end up. There's two cars in front of me, and I can't stop still, even as slow as I'm going. And I put my foot out, open the door, and trying to stop. Can't stop.
You try to e-brake?
I don't. I might have. I don't know. I can't remember at this moment. I'll say no because I don't remember.
Yeah.
And because this was happening very quickly. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I was just
Get
like,
a shot.
all less than a
Yeah.
minute.
You
I've
don't
stolen
know
my
what-
car back and processed all this stuff, and so I end up very softly rear-ending the lady in front of me. Ka-dunk. Fuck. So I get out of the car. My door's already open because I was trying to stop.
Yeah.
and the lady gets out of her car, and I say all the things that I just told you
Yeah.
as calmly and quickly as I could. And she's like, and she looks at the car. She's like, well, it doesn't look like you did any damage. It's not my car anyway. I don't care. It's like, okay, that problem averted. Now I got other problems because I'm in a turn lane.
Back
What do
to
I?
problem number one.
Yeah. So I get back in the car and I start mapping out my next chain of events because I've got to go now from here, Waller and Portland Avenue, or 72nd and Portland to Waller and 72nd, and I'm in the turn lane, and I know how the road goes because I've been up and down it so many times, and I know that it goes down a hill and then it goes up a hill, and then there's a stoplight at the top of that hill. Stopping was going to be a problem. That was going to be a big problem. And so I had to do many things, and I had to go fast enough down the hill that I could get up the hill and coast to a stop if I needed to, or at least be close to slow enough that I would minimize my impact on anything I might hit when I got to the top.
Yeah.
And then the trick also then became of navigating into the parking lot itself because if you know the Thunderbird parking lot, it's an L shape with a big box parking lot, and there's on two sides there's entrances. So I could have kept going forward through the light. If the light's green, I can go forward through the light, take a left, and then what? Into the building or something like that. Or I can try and make the turn lane and turn, and then turn right into the parking lot and left into a parking spot. And that's what I choose to do because I know that there's a big stone barrier that I can coast into.
Yeah.
They could bump into.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's my plan. And I've just got to time it perfectly. And long story short is I did. I just got everything right. I fucking got down the hill and then up the hill and was going just slow enough to gauge it to the light. And then I made the light and there was no one coming. And I made the turn. And then I made the other turn. And then I made the last turn and then bam! Hit the fucking thing and I'm home.
Perfect.
Yeah. Then I go in and I was like, I can't work today. I got to call the cops. I just stole my car back.
I'm having a really traumatic day.
They're like, no, you got to work. It's like, oh, fuck. But anyway, I did call the cops, and the cop came out, and he's like, well, you shouldn't have touched the car. You know, it had a stolen vehicle report out on it. And I was like, yeah, but all this stuff.
It.
Yeah. Is like, yeah, you know, but and I was like, well, so what about this? Like, I got a fender here, there with fingerprints all over it. You want this for evidence? He's like, no. Like, you don't want to do anything with this. It's not, no case, no procedure. No. Why not? Why would there be? Dummy. You know, it's like, that's work. We're not going to do that. So I got my car back. That it didn't run very well, and the brakes were bad. Turned out it had a bad axle. The axle was broken. And the brakes were fucked up. So
they stump jumped it.
I don't know. But I did make it home, and it drove all over the road like this.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like just swayed all over the place.
Oh.
And my solution to this was, because I couldn't afford another car and I needed to drive it, and I ended up zip tying the axle together in the back. Zip ties.
Nice.
and it still swayed a lot, and I remember having to drive that car in the snow with it already fucked up, so it was icy and snowy, and I'm fucking all over the place, just coasting back and forth, and it coasts like that anyway, so it was just like driving a boat on ice or something. It was just craziness, the whole thing.
Did you get the brakes fixed at least?
The brakes did get fixed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because that didn't sound safe.
Yeah, it wasn't. No, that was the worst part. Yeah.
The squirreliness, that can be dealt with.
Yeah,
If you learn how to deal with it, you can deal with it. But bad brakes, that's just pure luck, whether or not you're going to make it or not.
I met this friend of mine the day that I met him, pretty much. His name's Rick. You know Rick. You've met Rick, Book of Red. The day that I met Rick, Cody says, "Oh, you know, Rick's a mechanic. You should have him take a look at your car." And I was like, "That's a good idea." Have him come out and look at the car. And so Rick comes out and looks at the car, and I tell him the story and look at the stuff, and he sees the axle all zip tied. He's like, "Oh man, you can't drive it around like that." I've been driving it like that for a month. It's like, there's no way that's gonna hold. It's like, it's held. Like, I mean, I gotta replace them once in a while, but they wear out. But yeah, you actually can drive it like that.
Yeah.
How about some songs?
Yep. Let's go to songs.
All right.
The computer had shut down in the middle of my long story, but we will tell you what the songs are.
Let's go to songs and a glazed donut.
Oh, jeez. I already ate mine.
I said fuck 'em. I said fuck 'em. I said fuck 'em. I said fuck 'em.
Now fuck you, Mr. President, and don't expect me to address you with any respect unless you refuse to neglect the way you rhetoric got my loved ones scared to death. It's not about being politically correct, it's about the rape culture you seek to protect. So I'ma make sure to use my every breath to object to your bullshit at every step. You normalize the supremacy of wild lives. You try to maintain the way women are objectified. You hide behind lines that you later deny. Terrorize the rhetoric, reminiscent of genocide. Just look at the way you manage to take advantage of the damage. The planet we've been handed, you've been taken for granted. Your ego got you mannequin, I'm panicking. Damn it, we just set sail on the Titanic. I got no respect for the president and all the Confederates that he represents. I got no respect for the president. I got no respect for the president. I got no respect for the president and all the Confederates that he represents. I got no respect for the president. I got. Now I ain't trying to start a witch hunt like you automatically a bigot if you voted for Trump. But don't look me in the eye like I'm that dumb. Tell me this is because of email, Benghazi, or guns. I know you got your reasons and shit that you believe in, but this man is a cultural heathen, spewing hate with every breath that he breathing. And fuck the DNC and Hillary for that shit with Bernie. Tell me I got a voice, but they mocking me. Is this honestly what we call democracy? Cause Donald in the White House looks more like Halloween. Help me figure it out. And if you supported a regressive presidency, just make sure you know you don't have the right to make anybody feel like they have to be anything that they have to pretend to be. Like you get a say in their gender identity. Just learn some fucking empathy and keep your goddamn Bibles out of woman's pregnancy. I got no respect for the president and all the Confederates that he represents. I got no respect for the president. I got no respect for the president. I got no respect for the president and all the Confederates that he represents. I got no respect for the president. I got. Fuck the president. Say fuck the president.
Window gazer,
All right, we're back
Dun, dun, dun,
after a
dun,
fabulous set of
dun.
songs that I'll remember to tell you about while I'm sitting here thinking about it. And also while I'm thinking about it, not to distract myself from what I'm thinking about, but I need to keep the computer on after the fact.
Yes.
So remind me of
Yes.
that, because I will forget that. The songs that we just played, in no particular order, were Mirror Gloss, Alone Business, which is about screwing yourself. We heard The Devil's Glare by Hellfire Empire. We heard The Seeds by Livy Biha. I believe that's her name, Livy. I would say Livy. That would be if I just was looking at it and says, is it Livy? Livey.
I think so.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Livy Biha.
Livy.
And then
Livey's kind of hard.
Mirror Gloss is great. I just had them on my stage not too long ago.
yes,
They're awesome.
they are great. And
Funky. I like that.
Yeah, they're awesome.
yeah, we
This
started.
is duet. Oh,
Yep.
fantastic.
And Politickin' with 3 Ks is what started us off by Phraseology. That was at the beginning there. There you go.
Pretty cool line.
Yep, I've done my job, at least for now. Now,
Yeah.
keep the computer
Mixmaster Potter.
Oh my goodness.
Mixmaster Potter.
on. Speaking of mix, oh my god. So
Are you going to play a video or something?
I'm going to.
All right. Just making sure.
This weekend was the Electric Daisy Carnival, and it's in Las Vegas, and it's the biggest electronic music festival ever, and it just happens every year.
Must have been packed.
Yeah, they were live streaming some, and I was listening to it, and man, I'm into digital music, and good DJs can be phenomenal. I'm less into just the straight mixing song to song. I like a lot of the creativity and the musicianship that can go into the real hardcore DJs you can make music out of things, and they're not just making.
Yeah, they're not just playing song and then bleeding it into another song with a little scratch in between.
Yeah.
They're actually blending the beats of 2 different songs and playing them at the same time.
Yep.
And it's just that's cool. That takes some skills to do that.
Yeah. For me personally, if I have a complaint about it is that it's not that entertaining to watch a DJ. From any
No, not
vantage
at all.
point at all.
Not at all.
That's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
they have all those lights.
Yes. And from as far back as I can remember, I've been into electronic music, in all its varied forms, from Jean-Michel Jarreau or whatever his name is, Equinox and Oxygen, those albums, which are old 70s.
Oh, G. Marco Gerard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oxygen. Yep.
Those are phenomenal. And then Pink Floyd was a big they have a lot to do with
A lot of
electronic
ambient
music.
and stuff.
I think a lot of 80s kind of had that.
80s just
music.
exploded with it, and
Yeah.
we have
Yeah.
Depeche Mode to thank for tons of stuff. They're really like the Beatles of digital music.
Oh, yeah.
Cars did pretty
The
good.
Cars were great.
Then they even had the darker side, like the Peter Murphy, the Bauhaus, Love and Rockets.
Yep. The New Order and some other things.
Psychedelic Furs.
Yep.
So, and then in the in those days they would start remixing records. Then, records would get remixed into 12-inch singles and resold, and or come out this way with different mixes of songs in which the DJs start mixing it. So this is all the inception of this kind of stuff, and then into the 90s. I remember going to some early raves and stuff like that, and just liking and figuring out just things that they would do that would draw crowds and borrowing from that, but and how the nature of keeping a crowd moving and interested in music and what they would do there. And I really got wore out on the whole drug side of things, so that kind of steered me away from it, but I never lost appreciation for it. Shit, when the Jazz Bones was the Victory Club, they used to have the dance night, and I used to go there and drink a beer or two on Wednesday nights or whatever it was, and have listen to just the dance music. It's rad, or it can be. Even in junior high, I was into a lot of dance music too.
Studio 7 had a lot of those shows.
Yeah?
Yeah, especially towards the end. And that's kind of what closed them down to those all the drugs.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, do you hear about Stonegate?
I know that it closed.
Yeah, it's closed.
I don't think I ever made it out there.
It's actually a nice place.
Yeah.
I mean, the venue I liked. It's kind of, I guess there was sketchy shit that happened at some point or whatever. I mean, I don't know all of the details, so.
We went to a New
But
Year's
it's enough.
show there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I went to some stuff there, and it was kind of cool. The sound system was kind of neat.
Now-
It sounded really good there sometimes.
Is this one of the places that our old friend Jason was affiliated with?
No.
No. All right then.
No, this is, it's like right on South Tacoma Way
By the airport tavern.
by the airport tavern and
It's
the
like
Plaid
right
Pig.
across the
And
street from there.
if you know Charlie Drown, she has a little shop
Oh, is that right?
right there. And it's like almost like 2 doors down from that. My buddy Shad Windman has a recording studio like right there too. Shad should actually get that place, put in an awesome system and stuff.
Here's
I
the
should
thing.
talk to him about that.
It's not that I don't support a club on South Tacoma Way. I just don't ever go to a club on South Tacoma Way because it's like going to a club in Fife. No offense.
Oh.
Well, I mean, the problem is the police. Like, so in the 90s, there were places in Fife to play, but then getting out of Fife at the end of the night was running the gauntlet, and that's what it was called. Like, and
It doesn't seem to be that bad now.
it's not.
Yeah.
It's life has changed. Everything's changed. It's a different world we live in now.
Scary world.
Don't be afraid.
Don't walk around Seattle at midnight, though.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's different.
Duly
Don't do
noted.
that. That is neat that you got to go see the Laser Bowie. I saw David Bowie in 1991 here at the Tacoma Dome.
So awesome.
It was like during the period of time when I still worked there, but I wasn't working this show, and my mom had got me tickets for it, and so I saw it. It was the Sound and Vision tour when he was playing all of his hits, like the entirety of every hit single that he had released, and in like chronological order with videos. And this was one of the first, like, so 91, this was, I mean, not the first at all by any means, but like one of the first big shows where they had like 2 giant screens on either side with accompanying
badass.
videos. And he had a good band with him, and they played the songs great. Like all the songs, just all the songs sounded great. You know how people, as they go on in their career, songs can change and they can do them to,
Yeah.
at this point he was really still really strong. And it was neat to see that. That's the only time I got to see him, but yeah, I was glad I did.
Yeah, they played Modern Love.
That would have been awesome.
That was the best part of the laser show. They did like a
It's one of my
silhouette
favorites,
of him and then his, symbol, the lightning bolt and everything. It was just so cool. It was sweet. I couldn't help myself but be that happy. I just never thought I'd see a laser dome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. On my bucket list. Now it's off.
Now, I remember going to at least one, maybe 2 laser shows, but one back in like the 80s or 90s. And I know that it was our group of friends, but I don't remember all the people who went.
I think Chris was talking about this last
I went a couple times. I went once with Teresa and a girl that I was dating, Lisa, and somebody else. I'm not sure if it was Nathan or somebody. But yeah, we were doing those mind-altering substances, and not 5 minutes in, she decided to throw up on my lap.
Oh, I remember that story.
So I was seeing all these bright colors and feeling all this wet warmth, and it just didn't jive together. So we had to leave, and we just wandered around the
Coliseum.
Seattle Center, just wandered around and stuff the entire time until we were able to make our venture back home.
See, I remember being there for one of these, and then afterwards we're wandering around there at the Coliseum afterwards, just like that, smoking some joints. And we come across one of, like, what looks like an old homeless guy, and he's got a guitar. And he's just playing great songs. He played like a couple just amazing songs. Like, he was one of the best musicians I ever saw. The way that he just like he was like a wizard that came out of the bushes to perform these songs. He sang a song because he sang a song about dragons, and it was just all far out. It was just I was very, very blown away by it, and so was Hoyt, our old friend Jason. He was just like, because you know how he would get spun on things, and this just threw him. Like this is totally like broke him for a little while. He was like, wow, that dude, just can't get over that dude, man. Yeah, Jason, I know.
Oh.
That sounds like
Miss Jason. I haven't seen that guy in a long time.
Yeah, I was just, I think, talking about him again the other day with maybe Dave. Saw Dave the other day. Our friend Dave Takata had a little health problems, and was freaked out, thought he was going to die, because he very well could have died. We can all die at any moment. Yeah.
Nope.
So, but yeah, he came by the other day, and we were just shooting the shit, and yeah, Jason came up, and he might be around. We were trying to pinpoint where he might be. Oh yeah. I think I know where he might be.
Where?
I'm not going to say on the air, but I think I did Sherlock Holmes it to a general area, which
maybe we did. Yeah, that's helpful information that his mom could use.
There's a bong hit if anyone wants it.
Oh, you know who I ran into?
No.
Tanya Williams.
Oh, yeah. You told me that, actually.
Oh, I did?
Yep,
okay.
last week.
Yeah, and she was talking about how she knows where her brother is, but checks up on him, but that's about it.
Good.
And their grandma's still alive, still living in that same place at the bottom of 128th Hill.
Yeah, that's far out.
I know, I tripped out. Because every time I drive by there, I go, wow, that place hasn't changed at all. At all. And I was like, wow, I wonder if they're still there. And sure enough, yeah. Grandma still lives there, and Tanya and her dad are taking care of him because I guess Tanya's mom passed away not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Craziness.
This is not good show.
I know, yeah. Let's do something happy.
I don't know. I'm just
Damn it!
going, okay.
Well, yeah, this pertains to nobody.
All right, yeah.
No, not that there's anything wrong with it. Yeah, we got to fill time, but at the same time, and I'm not trying to make it awkward. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
I am often amazed at, like, we're like now 32 episodes in. This could bother somebody, sitting there and talking about what you're doing. We're doing this, and then we're talking about what we're doing. So we've been doing this for 32 episodes, and I'm often amazed that we can sit and fill the time with conversation.
I know.
There's
We
so many
still have
things
shit to talk about.
Yeah, and the natural flow of the show, and how you get to a point where it's like, we really should just play some songs. This fucking sucks. Just play songs, or whatever. Because again, I watch other people do it all the time, and so some very regimented shows or scripted ones, or ones at least with a series of topics lined up to talk about. They can flow very naturally, or at least they have something to force them into from one thing to another.
Yep.
And we do this all off the cuff. Nonetheless, we end up having chunks of topics and stuff like that, which it works out really well. And the segues and stuff become organic. It's fun. It's weird transitions, and the professionalism and lack of professionalism, and how even professionals have some awkward moments all the time, which if you really start to tune into, you can start catching this in people. It's like, oh, they don't know what's going on right now. Mm-hmm. They have no idea. And people can freak out and get stressed out. If you get to know their personalities, then they'll start to get riled up and tense. And it's like, oh, this guy's really heated. He's upset actually right now. Stuff like that.
I only get nervous when people correct my vocabulary. I hate that. I love it, but I hate it.
Yeah,
it's helpful.
Did I do this?
Well, it's like what I told her. I told her,
No.
If you go into it explaining that, hey, I may not be able to explain to say some of these words. It's in writing right there, so they could read it themselves too. Because she had a problem with Sri Lanka, which
you mean Sri Lanka?
That's what
Sri
I
Lanka,
said.
yeah.
Well, see, I said the first word.
Sri Lanka?
I said the first thing.
Yeah, well, whatever.
What a C?
You knew what I was talking
Tomato, tomato. I mean, I said grand pricks.
Good one.
Everyone, when they left the bar last night, was like, I'm sorry, but I'll never let you live that down.
Hey, it's all right.
Grand pricks.
You know, there's words like that and core, which is CORPS. Why would you think that that's not corpse?
That's
Yeah,
what I would
exactly,
say too.
exactly.
See, I would have said corpse.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
And then like it's the P words, you know, psychology, physicists,
Yep.
use psychosis. I'm all like, you know.
Yeah, I know.
What's happening?
That's why you just do the best. And if somebody corrects you, laugh about it. Don't take it personal because you know who cares? I mean, you know, when are you going to ever use that in a scenario, anyways?
Well,
you know, and a lot of times that's how you can learn.
it's sometimes
You didn't know?
sometimes there are two right ways of saying a thing. Sometimes there's only one right way of saying a thing, but it doesn't matter. You know, some people still say axe. Some people will say that axe is fine. You know, and some people say it's slang for ask, and it's a weird slang. I don't know. There's lots of
Wait,
schools of
axe?
thought.
Axe?
Axe and ask. You know
An
how?
axe is a hatchet, right? Isn't that an axe?
Yeah, but some people will say, you know, how
I asked you.
I asked you a question.
Okay. Okay, I get it now.
I wasn't ready for that one. I don't know why.
We should create an entire sentence of nothing but slang. Everything has to be a slang thing, and then see how many people can come back to us and tell us exactly what we said.
Coupons. Coupons and coupons. That gets
coupons.
me wild.
Those are coupons.
It's coupon, like coup.
No, coupons.
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 Well, you can say coupons or coupons, but it's
coupons.
not coupons.
Coupons sound like tampons.
God.
So that's what they are. I
It's
like
like
it.
a value pack.
Get your
The coupons.
coupons ready.
a value pack.
My mom does it. I tell my mom all the time that it's, coupons, and she goes, "It's coupons."
Well, you know, we have a street in our town named Sprague Street,
Yep.
but everywhere else in the world, that would be Sprague because of Prague. And when people from a European country come here and say Sprague, we would make fun of them.
Yeah.
But
That's really how you say it.
that's how they would say it for sure. And yeah, we can go on all day like this, and like I remember having a distinct argument with someone when I was younger, someone I was dating about lapis lazuli or lapis lazuli, which is a stone, you know.
I didn't know, but I'm learning.
Okay, it's okay. So you've seen lapis before, like in rings, right? Is that what they put it in? Big rings. We can Google it.
Is that kind of an opalish looking?
Isn't it more like kind of almost turquoise looking?
Oh, so it's a solid. Solid. It's not a transparent gem.
Yeah. It's like a rock, right?
Okay. Well, there are rocks. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh, that's
beautiful.
cool looking.
That looks like the Titanic one.
But it's solid. That's
I
the
know,
Titanic
it's
was
so
like a
cute.
blue.
It's far more blue than I was thinking. I was maybe thinking.
That's almost like cobalt blue.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty.
Chris used to collect cobalt. What, cobalt? How you say it? Cobalt?
Cobalt.
Cobalt. Blue stuff.
Yeah. So
When Star Wars took over.
Yeah, Star Wars pretty much took over the whole entire room at this point. That's okay.
Yeah. Before the days of computers and everything, in this argument that I had with someone, I had to call the library to ask them how to pronounce to settle the argument, whether it was pronounced lapis lazuli or lapis lazuli, and I ended up winning by because I thought that it was lapis lazuli, and that's what the librarian who I called, because you used to be able to call the library. In fact, you still can call the library quick information line and just ask them a question about anything. They'll research it and they'll get back to you. You can give them your number, they'll call you back and tell you things. So I used to do that all the time. Like, when I wanted to know who voiced a character on The Simpsons, or who was Tom Swift, stuff like this. They would love it too, because it's like this is. In fact, I was told, people would come back and like, this was fun, So I asked them how to pronounce this, and then they said that I was correct. Which even in the time since, I've had different arguments on both sides, so I still don't really know. But even though I went to great lengths to win the argument, I shouldn't have. I should just let it go.
Can Google tell you?
My point is that like some arguments you just don't need to win. That's all. Yeah. I should, because what did I end up doing? Feeling good for a minute, but pissing this broad off to no end. That's all. Just because I was like, well, I wanted to know though. I mean, really, personally, it was just I needed to satisfy my own desire, and it wasn't to prove her wrong. Which there's no consoling a person who feels like they've been.
Why don't you just look it up now and hear how Google says it?
Because that
would satisfy me now, because now I'm curious. Let's find out the truth. Because Google does not lie. Sometimes it does, but most of the time it does not. All right, there it goes. Oh, there's even YouTube videos.
Yeah, apparently this has been a point of contention throughout history. Many a relationship has ended over the...
Oh, look at the psychedelic little background they got going on. All right.
Lapis lazuli.
Well, that's it.
Lapis lazuli.
Lapis lazuli.
But see, I think that this computer voice is not pronouncing it correctly because they're not emphasizing the...
Well, let's try the other computer
voice. Let's try the other one. See, I don't think we're going to get a...
Well, it's the same voice.
Lazuli.
Yeah, not making me happy.
Lazuli.
All right.
No,
Lapis
now we
lazuli.
are still unknown. I wish we had like a hotline.
Ritz crackers!
That would be so fun if we had a hotline right now and be like, can you guys call in and help us out?
Lapis lazuli.
Lapis lazuli. It's pretty universal now.
Yeah.
Lapis lazuli.
Lapis lazuli.
Yep.
Lapis lazuli.
Okay.
Stop yelling at me. We do have a phone. We don't have a phone. We have a phone line. We don't have a phone. We have a phone line. We have a phone line and people can call in.
That'd be so fun.
If we had the right cord that would make the camera work, then we could be doing this live when we do it. We'd have to be very comfortable then doing it live. And we'd have to have the songs going like we should ahead of time. Like I just have to then make sure that I have the songs ahead of time. But then we could have a phone and we could have call-ins and we can have people
That'd be
chatting.
fun having people call in.
That'd be fun.
And
I feel like Wayne's World.
we could give then like at that point say we're doing that and you can follow then along the chat. If people were to come in and chat, you could follow that along even on your phone or on your own laptop or computer here, and jump into conversations or say so and so in the chat says that you guys are idiots.
Yeah, we'll probably get a lot of that.
Yeah.
We'll
go, yeah. Okay.
And
what
are you doing, sir?
Yep. Sitting in your underwear saying that we're idiots.
Yeah.
Yep. Eating Cheetos. Yep. Flaming hot Cheetos.
Go clean your sheets and shut your mouth.
Go clean your sheets, cheddar mouth. That's all you said.
There's a bong it here.
That was good. That was a good one. I'll take that.
All right.
I need the lighter back.
Maybe you got to finish the whole thing, right? Yeah. No, really. That's how you do it.
She doesn't have to. She doesn't want to, but she's welcome to because that is conventional. We're not going for the gold here or anything.
Oh, that's right. Oh, it's been a while since I've
I
heard
feel
that.
like I should.
Yeah.
So the world is all torn apart about Game of Thrones. I know you don't watch it, but
Nope.
We
it's
also had this conversation last night.
it's
Well, I know. I've been seeing that people are just pissed off.
just like Last Jedi, dude.
Yeah,
They are
it's
just
just like-
fucking
just like,
spun. Well, you
"Ah,
know
this
what?
sucks."
What the overlap is that those two guys who crapped this story up for everyone are going to do Star Wars now, and so
Oh.
this is the
No.
and so okay. Here's the thing. Rian Johnson is the man who did The Last Jedi,
Uh-huh.
and people were torn by The Last Jedi, divided the Star Wars fan base. Now, it has been slated that both Rian Johnson and the Game of Thrones guys are going to do Star Wars trilogies. Each of them do Star Wars trilogies. But half of the fan base hates Rian Johnson and says, no, we don't want Rian Johnson to do those Star Wars. Never, ever again.
No.
You can't touch it. But some people are like, fuck it, whatever. And then, but they're the contingent who want the Game of Thrones guys. They want them. But now the Game of Thrones guys have crapped the bed and they've given them a Last Jedi situation. Now they're backtracking. And so now the Game of Thrones guys are going in just like Rian Johnson under fire. They both suck to people. Enough people, the vocal minority, even if it's just a small amount of people, it's a amount of people that they've pissed off, and they're never going to shut up about it until they're just blocked from the internet or something. You got to get rid of those people somehow.
I feel like they kind of crapped the bed when they decided to continue the show when the books weren't even finished.
That's a problem.
That was a huge problem.
From a creative standpoint, that does pose a huge problem. And
And now the guy's going to finish the books. The books are going to be fucking badass. It's going to have a badass ending. And that's how the ending should have been in the first place.
yeah, well, he's going. If these books do get finished, they're probably not going to play out like the movie, the show did, exactly at least. And they're definitely going to be like fix things because he can see how the show handled the story. And the main, and I've said it before, the main legitimate criticism is the rush, how it's been rushed. There's a certain things that the show was known for that has been cast aside to finish this season. And it would have, so many people have given just really, really great explanations of how they could have paced it and made it longer. The real main mitigating factor is that those two guys who make the show had the sole rights to do it. They weren't going to let anyone else take it over after them. They wanted to finish it, and then they wanted to go do Star Wars. And they wanted to go fucking do Star Wars. They're like, fuck, we've been doing this for 10 years. Let's go do Star Wars. Can we just go do Star Wars? Fuck all this stuff. Fuck it. Leave the cup in the shot. We don't care. Leave the bottle in the shot, because there's so many things, lazy little things but there is some legitimate lazy writing, and that's because so many things were not addressed or not paid off. The show was weaving this myth and these stories and these characters to a point that they just that doesn't matter, that doesn't matter, and it really should have mattered. Like, so many of those things should have had better payoffs that would have cost more, they would have taken more time to execute, and they just couldn't do it. They're like and that is the problem. The same problem, the legitimate problem that I have with Lost and many other shows is that you chose to end it without an ending. You didn't have a well thought out, well planned ending. You knew a point where you might have
Lost ended exactly how I thought it was.
Yeah, but nonetheless, they said, first of all, they said it wouldn't. They said that was not going to be the ending.
Yeah.
Right up from the start and all the way through it. That's not how it's going to end. But it is.
Well, it's probably because
Surprise.
it was predictable, and that's why they were trying to throw you off, because that's exactly what it was.
A purgatory sort of situation. Yeah. But the whole show didn't play out in purgatory. Only the last season, theoretically, played out in a state of purgatory sort of situation. But man, no, alternate dimensions and hokiness like this, that's not good. And but that's another story unto itself. The Game of Thrones just shortchanged people on really so much potential. And that is the thing, is that they had so many things that they couldn't pay off in that amount of time. and they couldn't give a satisfying ending to or explanation of. So much magic and mythology and things that the purpose of people that were, well, they're dead now. The purpose doesn't matter. Well, the purpose did matter. And so much of the show was invested in that. This is the thing. When you invest so much time in a thing that doesn't matter, it's like, well, that didn't matter. That I was really invested in that, but it didn't matter. These characters didn't matter to the story. This part of the story didn't matter. And the few threads of the story that do matter were not concluded well. I was thinking of just a couple other examples there while I was saying that. Oh, Survivor. This last season of Survivor, I just finished watching, and I thought it was a great season, but they had a mechanic in the game which is similar to something they've done before. In some seasons before, they've had a way for people to get back in the game.
Yeah.
In Big Brother, they do this shit a lot, where players who've got it evicted, they can get back in. But in Survivor, they rarely do something like that. If you're gone, you're gone. You're out. That's part of the game. Yeah. And they've had a couple seasons in the past called like Redemption Island or things like that, where people would go and get voted off, and then they would compete to get back in. And basically, every person who'd come would compete against the first person, and the winner would get to continue until they eventually let that person back in the game. Well, in this season of Survivor, it was Survivor Exile Island, and so every single person in the game got sent to an island and stayed in the game and could get back in, which is actually kind of cool, but it kind of goes against Survivor also. So it's got this kind of polarizing effect right off the bat. Some people don't like it. I didn't mind it. I thought it was great. The first lady that got voted off stayed there the whole fucking time, all the way to the end. And this is on an island where they've got less to do, way less to do, and they get way less food. They only get a tiny sprinkling of rice every day, and they have to fend for themselves a lot more. So some of that aspect of it is more old school Survivor, and there's a lot of very cool things about that little mechanic, but people were just skeptical about people getting voted out and then coming back in. Now, they did it twice throughout the season. Once mid-season, where a dude who was voted out came back in, and it was kind of great. He was this newscaster from like Kentucky or something like that, and he was just awesome. He was a fun guy, and he knew how to work the camera, and he was a little snarky, but everyone wanted to get him out the whole time because he'd come back from this island, and that made him a serious threat to win the game right off the bat. So the whole rest of the game was designed trying to get him out, and everyone thinking, oh, he's going to win. But then they had another person come back from this redemption island at the end, in the final like 6 people, final 5, someone else comes back from this island. So of the first 15 or 10 or however many castaways that got evicted from this island and put to Extinction Island, another one gets to come back very late in the game. And this guy who came back late in the game ends up winning. Wins the game. Runs the table from there on out. Which, here's what makes that really rad. From a very casual, because I'm pretty casual Survivor watcher. Survivor's the game where the best person's always getting voted out. It's like, oh, she's smart, funny, strong, and attractive. She's got to go, dude. Sorry. We're voting your girlfriend out. Gone. Cause she's going to win challenges. She's going to beat us all in the end. And if you're going to beat me in the end, you've got to go. That's how Survivor works. Yeah. Which sucks because there's not enough people who's like, no, I want to go with the best people, and I want to fight against the best people. Well, they're rarely ever the best people going to make it, or the strongest, or certain alpha types of people. They're rarely going to make it, because as soon as you're pegged as a threat, they're targeting you from then on out. Yeah, and that's what the season becomes often, is target the main threat. Target the main threat. Main threat's gone, who's the next big threat? So, in this case, one of those guys who doesn't get as many chances to win anymore gets to come back and win. This is unsatisfying to some people, and it's polarizing to the fan base, like all things considered, because, of course, the purists think that you're voted out, you're voted out. It's just the bottom line. You should not get a chance to come back.
Yeah.
Cut the songs.
Song time.
Song time.
still remember the day he went away. That was the day my angel left me to stay. An angel, don't know why, oh why I want to be beside him, but I'm afraid to die. Oh, I want my baby back home. I want my baby home. Is gone, but still I want him home.
My dream of life, put it out, hang me out to dry. Wake me up so suddenly, lesson learned maliciously. And what do you want, and what do you need, and what do you want, and why you doing this to me? Parasite from inside of me, I want you to give it life. Wow, 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 wow. Post fear of failure in your mind, and feel the wrath of the that corner of my eye, sleeping with my back against the wall, cause I don't trust these savages. Nothing but a bunch of cannibals who take what they want and what they need and what they want. They keep on taking everything. Take this parasite from inside of me. I want you to give it life. Close to the fear of failure in your mind and feel the wrath of the
Right, we were back after more songs. We heard Utterance right there. That was a song by Utterance. Bricks and Glass. And what else did we hear in there? We heard some Far Out things.
We did. There's nice. So, nice variety.
Yes, an eclectic mix of ambiance and noise and sound and time. Analog America. It did a song that we played. That was the crazy song. And then we also heard that it's not right in front of me because I closed the window. The band, oh, here's a place where it will be. The Death of an Angel. Yep, by the Viceroys. And that had a lady singing. That lady was not really in the Viceroys. She was just guest appearing on the song. I forget her name.
Okay.
And then before that, we started it all off with, McCassin and McDonald is what we started it all off with. It was a song called Brook Lay off of their album Harbor, which is an Irish folk band.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've heard of that record so far is very nice. Stopped and listened to a few tracks. And it's hard for me to listen to every song of every artist that I come across. So I just gravitate to what appeals to me immediately most first, and then explore it more later. Quite often I'm just grabbing things I've not heard to put into the rotation of things. So, and like last night, what I was doing, I went through a bunch of old shows to just look at everything that was played and say, okay, what needs to be hit again here in the near future? Because I want to keep repeating bands and digging into the songs that they have throughout history and time, and keep mixing them into things. I was thinking also last night, man, there's so many good songs that I played that I'd like to repeat songs, but I've still not started really repeating songs because there's always so many great, more new bands to play,
So many
and more songs to play. Yeah. And every time I think, I'm a little bored, I'm not. I just, I probably should just go look because there's so many things. Like every time that I look for anything, I find stuff from the last 20 years, especially. In the last 20 years, tons of stuff has been recorded. And just these scenes exist in these pockets that were maybe very popular for their time, but then they just drift away. They fade away. And these albums just exist on Bandcamp now.
Yeah.
With bands of kids who went to college and moved on or joined other bands and don't care about their old bands anymore. Because so many people... I try to find music from people all the time. I'm looking for these people, try to get them to give me music. And a lot of people, I would almost say at least half of people don't really keep their material and preserve it. And even in the modern age, people who've recorded stuff now in the last 10 or 20 years don't always end up with copies of their material, their recordings of their tracks they've been on. And there's situations that people end up in with, like say a band breaks up under contentious circumstances, and one of the members has the master recordings to their songs, and everyone hates the guy, or the guy hates everyone in the band for one reason or another, and now they can't get their recordings back, or the bass player just feels like he's being left out of things, but he's the one who paid for the recordings, so he takes all the recordings and says, fuck you guys. Or any number of things that aren't so on the level and kosher just happen. And or tragic things happen, or crazy things happen. Somebody dies. People just forget. Life happens, and it changes people's priorities. And let's be realistic. A lot of bands, for people are just a very casual thing they do in life. It's like, yeah, so I was on a football team in 8th grade. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. I mean, it's forgotten memories. Yeah.
Something playing in the background?
Yeah.
Right. Just chicken.
Yeah, you know the show The Ghost Whisperer?
I
With Jennifer Love Hewitt?
am familiar with it.
Remember that show?
Familiar with it.
So they had that show, and it was pretty good. It was running for like almost 10 years or something crazy like that. There's a lot of seasons of it.
Uh-huh.
Well, that show's kind of been forgotten of because it's been a few years. They just decided to remake the same exact show but call it something different. It is the same show, and I just saw the trailer last night, and I was just going, really? Is there really nothing else we could make shows about anymore?
They figure, oh, we'll just rebrand it. No,
You know, it's
some
the
things you
same
can
show. The
rebrand
girl
and make
talks
it
to
work. Some things
ghosts.
you can't. Yeah.
That's the show. Like, she figures out, oh, she talks to ghosts, and then she has to figure out their story.
Well, what was the show with Patricia Arquette? Where she... I think it was a CBS show, and it's...
Was that the short? Was that the short, heavy-set lady from Poltergeist?
No.
Oh, okay.
Patricia Arquette was the
Did
lady...
she talk to ghosts, too?
I don't remember, because I don't really remember the show, but it seems like a similar premise, because when you first started telling me, I was like, oh, she's going to tell me that show. And it's like, no, so maybe not. We do have the internet here. Let me check it out. Patricia Arquette, the only thing I really remember her in right off the bat was she was in the movie True Romance with Christian Slater. It was a Tarantino film. And it's a really good movie. Can be difficult to watch, but it's really good. And she's really good in it. And then she had a show on TV on CBS a while ago, and I forget what it was called.
Yeah. TV's just nowadays.
Yeah.
There's really not too much good things to watch.
The Medium.
Oh, I remember that one.
I guess that could be a similar thing.
I don't know what she did
I've
in that
never
show.
watched that one.
But wasn't that a fictional show?
Well, the Ghost Whisperer is fictional too.
So it's not real?
No, it's just it's like it was a Fox show kind of. It was, she was married and they lived in a small town and she owned a little antique shop or something like that. And she could talk to ghosts, and that was the weird thing about her life. And she could actually see events happen before they happen, type thing. And that was what the show was about.
At a very quick glance, it just looks like she was a psychic who helped the police, and the medium. So it's not exactly the same, or even at all the same. They're just in the same vein of things.
Right.
We need to get the program that has Star Trek, the new Star Treks.
CBS app,
Discovery?
All Access app.
Something like that, yeah.
So Discovery's on the CBS All Access app, which is it's a relatively cheap price, like $6 or $7 in that range. I think I had it once briefly.
But how much is that on it? Is it like a Netflix type thing or what?
It is like a Netflix type thing with less content, obviously. I've only just had it very briefly, and I only just checked it out to see what it had to offer during this time. And I can see Survivor online without it, so it's not necessary for that for me. It also has Big Brother, and you can get access to live feeds, which is only really cool at all if you're really, really into Big Brother. And I mean, as a concept, Big Brother's cool, but like watching it, you can see that it just makes people nasty, and you would just be tuning in to see when people got nasty. That's really what these live feeds are for. So you can just watch them all the time and say, "Oh, did you see that big fight that they had when this so and so called so and so a bitch and then snatched the wig off her head?" That's what they want to see. No, it's not quite that, but I'm just I'm being hyperbolic.
Pretty close.
And then what else does it have? Since I'm so not into shows, I really don't know. I know that they really lean on that Star Trek. They really do.
All right, I guess we'll just wait till it comes down DVD.
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
They've got to have more. Here's the Bless you. I've been telling you your whole life not to hold your sneezes in.
I know.
30 years. 30 years.
And to this day, he still does not listen.
And sometimes what happens, it's just like a lot of
Christopher, no one cares. Blow this shit out.
the people care.
No one cares. You're gonna make
Dude,
your brain explode.
I think like
You're gonna have a sinus fracture.
if anything, you're gonna bump up the views, bro.
People want to see that crap. People
Yeah,
watch
what is
YouTube
wrong?
videos.
Oh my God! You see that
Yes,
when Chris
people
just
watch YouTube videos of pimple popping. People love that shit. People love it. TLC made a show called Dr. Pimple Popper.
I just saw this because I've got Hulu. It comes with my phone. Well, the service is offered with my phone subscription. So and I saw this on the thing, which my first thought, of course, went to Seinfeld, where Jerry Seinfeld called a dermatologist Dr. Pimple Popper MD, because he got it in his head that, okay, first of all, he broke out in hives, and that started freaking him out. And he thought that for one reason or another, the dermatologist had done something to him. Kramer might have put this in his head. And he also got in the impression that she was just a dermatologist. She wasn't a real doctor who didn't do anything to save anyone's life. But then he called her Dr. Pimple Popper MD and offended her. But then later on, when he was apologizing or for some reason or another, or talking to her, it came about that she had cured someone's cancer. Someone had skin cancer. So she did save someone's life. And then he felt really dumb, bad. And then it also turned out that Kramer was causing the hives to break out because he was using his cleaner, that he was cleaning his meat slicer. He's cleaning the meat slicer blade with this cleaner with Jerry's hand towel from the bathroom that Jerry would wipe his face with. Where he was breaking the hives. And it's also the meat cutter that Elaine borrowed to cut meat to feed the cat in the door next door.
Kill the cat?
No, not cat meat. She was cutting lunch meat to feed the cat.
Well, yeah, but did the meat get tainted?
No.
Alright.
This is unrelated.
Just make sure the cat's okay.
No, the cat.
Christopher just cares about the cat.
Well, the cat was fine
Once
for
you
a
bring
while.
the cat into it.
See, the cat
that's-
kept meowing and meowing, or something. I don't know. Kramer decided to blow the fuse and helped Elaine blow the fuse in the house next door. But then the automatic cat feeder stopped feeding the cat when they blew the fuse in the house next door. I don't know why that she needed to blow the fuse in the house next door. Maybe there was an alarm going off or something. I don't know. Something was bothering her next door. So the solution was to blow the fuse in the apartment next door, and by doing that, they shut off the automatic cat feeder. The cat was starving. She borrowed Kramer's meat slicer to feed lunch meat, to slide it under the door so the cat could eat. And then, while she had it, she's decided to shave a piece of her heel off to even out the heels on her shoes. And so once she healed, then she jammed up the meat slicer and didn't want to give it back to Kramer.
What a mess.
Dude, it was a really well-written show, actually. It's a mess, but...
So she got the heel up on her foot or the shoe?
The shoe.
Okay, I
The
was
heel of
gonna
her shoe
say,
was
okay.
unbalanced. The heels of her high heels were unbalanced, so she
Alright.
wanted to even them out, and then she ended up jamming up the thing. And yeah, so much going on there.
Oh.
I feel like
It
I
sounds
gotta
like
put her here, too.
Seinfeld, though. There's
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
something.
So yeah, so next episode we're gonna be outside.
Well, you said that before,
Hopefully.
and then ended up, I had a hurt shoulder, and it was overcast, and you were tired. And
Yeah.
But we were planning.
It's a
on it.
possibility.
Yes. Well, I'm
Yeah,
just
it'll
saying
be
it's
outside.
possibility. Weather holds out. As long as the weather is cool and we aren't hurt, then we should be able to do it.
Yeah, my back's much better this week.
Just gotta make sure I bring some batteries and we just gotta have to figure out a way to play music.
I think surely, if as long as I'm far enough ahead of things, I can just put everything on my phone, and it'll be all fine.
Alright.
Yep.
And I get I could probably come up with a couple songs, maybe.
Yeah, you know that you can say anytime, hey, we should play this on this week's show, or at any time during the show you should
Well,
say.
yeah. Well, if I do, I could just say I could grab the song and
And
put it on like a thumb drive or whatever.
Yeah.
And,
same with you, too. I mean, our main rule generally is the general greater Pierce County area. bands
Perfect.
from around here. So, yeah, because there's things that I don't see or can't find or don't think of or forget about. Which I need to start thinking of what's coming up next in our program.
Oh.
Fine afternoon. Because we are moving along. Think we want to hear a song by Portrait of Poverty today.
Perfect.
Did I tell you what bands are playing for my birthday?
You might have, but I don't know if you've told the audience.
Well, I'm having The Face of Loki. They most likely are going to be headlining, I believe. Then we're going to have Casualty of God playing right before them. And then we're going to have the whole Bolivian Army is going to play. And then PD Normal. Well, PD, they'll be reversed. They'll be PD Normal will be first, the whole Bolivian Army, Casualty of God, and then Face of Loki. It's going to be July 13th.
I took the day off.
So it's going to be a cool show.
That sounds great.
My big 50, so I might be.
We're going
everything's
to
gonna be-
Vegas in June.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Next month we're going to Vegas for a little bit
Going
to
to
celebrate.
Golden
my birthday.
Nugget.
Wow. That is awesome.
It's going to be 120 degrees. I'll come back with 3rd-degree burns and shit. And, but we're sunglasses the whole time, so I'll have white eyes. It'll be awesome.
I've been to Vegas several times. It's been a long time since I've been there. I talked about that dance music festival, and it's not necessarily like something that's up my alley. And at the same time, I would love to go and see it. It just seems fucking rad. As if I had a refuge, and supplies, I could go on that kind of adventure as long as I didn't have to live in it, like with these filthy, sticky, fucking tweaker people.
We're staying on Fremont where it's the worst.
I've had some great experiences in Las Vegas and crazy ones. Like I remember driving into Vegas in like the early 90s, 93? It's probably 93. Probably around this time of year in 93. Maybe a little earlier, April-ish, May-ish. It was right around now. Jesus, it was like in the deserts between LA and Vegas, like as we're getting into Nevada deep, like 117 degrees, man. Like it was just fucking nuts. And we were driving naked. We were completely naked, just like with something strategically placed here and there, just to not cause wrecks. But
It was hot.
yeah. It was hot in the shade. It was like that drive killed the car that we were in totally. But Vegas was fun, and
Yeah, it's going to be hot when we go.
it can not be bad, and especially if you are strategic about it, stay mostly indoors during the peak hot spells, and then traverse through strategic areas and avenues that have more shade, and then do most in the evenings and night also. Like, this was one of the benefits of this life, especially then, was sleeping in late, stay up super late, and then, the sun's coming out, it's time to go to bed. Just go to bed until like noon, 1, 2, and then do a lot of the maintenance, like showering and eating between like 2 to 6, and then it starts to maybe cool down, and then you just have, go till dawn.
again.
Yeah, go till dawn.
Party all night.
Well,
No, Christopher and I are in bed. Even in Vegas, we're in bed by, I think the latest was 2.
yeah.
We like,
That's unheard of.
I know.
we party like we're 98.
Well, I'm sure it's probably most likely going to be different this time because of
We
the
are on
heat.
Fremont Street.
And the heat. It's going to be a lot hotter, so I'm pretty sure. Well, I don't know. I'm just kind of
That was the
go
best
with it,
time we
see
had.
what
That
happens.
was the night we stayed up the latest.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Chris never gets drunk. Chris gets buzzed. So it was fun to see Chris get drunk. He was having a good time.
Good thing is I'm in a wheelchair
Yeah.
because I can't do all that walking, so she's pushing me in a wheelchair. So, but I mean, that kind of catches me off guard because I could get a pretty good buzz and not realize I have a good buzz until I have to stand
Yeah.
before the bathroom.
He
then
stood
the
up and
wheelchair
he was
rolls away
like,
from
"Oh."
me and stuff as I'm peeing, and then I try to sit back down and there's no chair.
Oh, fuck, dude. I'm trying to think of times I might have seen you really drunk, and the first one that came to mind might be the most recent for me, which would have been like, was one of your birthdays at the Cedarwood. You were at the Cedarwood, and you left
yeah.
that night very drunk one night.
That was my 32nd birthday. And
32nd?
Yeah, I think so. And my head was out the window the whole way home, and it was raining. And you and Teresa had to help me to the house.
I remember. I was driving. I had to drive, which was
Yeah.
like for either of them to concede and just say, "Hey, you got to drive." Like they were fucked up. Both of them were fucked up.
Because that was the Sublime show.
Was it?
It was the Sublime.
yeah.
What was the guy that was playing Sublime?
Buying you
Oh, yeah.
shots.
The bass player. And he was talking to me, and as I was talking to him was when it hit me and I started slurring. I went from perfectly articulated speaking to speaking in cursive within a millisecond. Just run. And that's when it says, "Yeah, I think you're done, my brother."
One of the last times I got super drunk, or maybe the last time I even drank was in like 2009 back at the Seafair. That was when Hellas and a few other heavy bands were playing, and I sat up late after hours drinking tequila straight, just fucking hammered.
Mine was Patron.
Yeah, this was probably either a bottle of Cabo Wabo I had there or El Rolingo, whatever that was. I think I had actually a specific bottle of Cabo Wabo there just for me at this point, at that moment. But that was also
Which bar?
the Seafair.
Seafair, yeah. You had the El Rolingo too, because
Yeah.
that was where I had that one. I've been looking for it ever since too. And I haven't
Yeah.
been able to find it.
I forgot to mention that to Bill this weekend, actually.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to songs. Let's hear Portrait of Poverty, something.
All right.
What song we're going to play right now? Let's see.
Never get away.
judge off the things we say. I don't give a fuck. And don't believe that we live this way. I don't give a fuck. You can say what you want, I'ma do it anyway. Cause I don't give a fuck.
Fuck you haters and watch me rise. Ain't no punk, I've had a rough life, you busters bunk. Scared of my skills, I've had prepared to fight. They call me the dirty D, I see us stuttering when I'm coming with this heat. Daniel's killing tracks, ooh-wee. Here I go and I'm getting it faster, but luckily building it better than crackers. Rocking my hat and I'm wearing it backwards. Cut to the right, but light on plaster. But the bitch, I'm coming up from the SCA, not giving a fuck. Hip-hop rock, y'all know what's up. Here I come grabbing my nuts. You don't wanna fuck with us. We don't give a fuck.
If they try to hate on the moves we make, I don't give a fuck. So quick to judge off the things we say, I don't give a fuck. And don't believe that we live this way, I don't give a fuck. You can say what you want, George Zelaya anyway.
Girl,
I don't give
check.
a fuck.
I don't give a fuck if they wanna come and check me. They better come correctly, thinking they gon' disrespect me. Popping off like your shit's really gonna offend me. How can you not commend me knowing you the one pretended? I got a heavy hand, right here I steady stand. Quit playing roles of a hater, you just another fan. Just another stand, typical dick rider. A straight faggot type to go and let a dick inside you. See, this is my business, rocking until I'm finished. Cause from the start, jealousy's played a major role in it. And yeah, there's evidence, and I'm facing negligence. I'm nice when I write like you complimented my penmanship. And I'm a benefit from your talking anyway. I rip patterns, get fatter when we wrap y'all up any day. I just don't give a damn, homie, this is my notion. So keep talking shit, I'm digging the promotion. I don't give a fuck.
They trying to hate on the moves we make, I don't give a fuck. So quick to judge off the things we say, I don't give a fuck. And don't believe that we live this way, I don't give a fuck. You can say what you want, I'ma do it anyway. I don't give a
Yo,
fuck.
I don't give a fuck if you don't like me, cause you're likely jealous of my success in the game. I've been blessed with a flame that keeps on burning while you keep on turning green with envy. And these haters pop a lot of shit, but why they wanna be against me? It's all good though, cause I'ma keep on doing this here while you keep blurring the line between you and a queer. Yeah, I spit that shit that got them stuck like crack pipes. I rap tight, so show respect, you fuckers better act right or get smacked like Debo did Debbie and Friday. It's my way or the highway. I really don't know why they continually wanna try their luck with me. You suck, so please shut the fuck up and listen. Don't try to fuck with me, I'm sucker free. And yeah, you butt to me, that's all there is to it, yo. Musta got dropped in your head for thinking you could flow and thinking you can blow. Yo, start giving up. You can say the same about me, but I don't give a fuck.
If they trying to hate on the moves we make, I don't give a fuck. So quick to judge off the things we say, I don't give a fuck. And don't believe that we live this way, I don't give a fuck. You can say what you want, I'ma do it anyway. Cause I don't give a fuck.
I sat in December waiting for someone clever with whom I could share a rapport. But alas, I was given to fits of submission, to glasses or bottles of port. Then one icy midnight, when asked, "Are you alright?" by a caring but foolhardy sort, I replied, "I feel fine when I feel like I'm dying from glasses or bottles of port."
keep better track of what I'm playing. Is that 4 songs? Are we done?
I don't know.
I think so.
I think we are. I think we played 4 songs.
Do we look like we're paying attention?
Well, we heard that that song,
I sure am not.
and then before that song, we had heard "I Don't Give a Fuck." Was that before that, or was that there a song in between?
There was
that?
a sauce one that you were on.
Oh, that one, the little. Yep, you're right.
There was a saucy one.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know which one.
No, you're right. The name of it was right here. It escapes me now because I changed the station. Oh yes, Glasses or Bottles of Port by Sauce Core.
That was pretty cool. That was a good one.
It was a 8-bit composition. You said it sounded like Mario because that was what they're going.
It reminded me of like that game.
Yeah. There's a whole subgenre of music made out of 8-bit stuff like this, and some of them are just phenomenal. Some people will take like songs and then compose them with Mario music, 8-bit stuff. They're just great. We started that off with Portrait of Poverty, and then we also heard that what's that song by the song about fucking things, or I Don't Give a Fuck. I Don't Give a Fuck by Dan Valdez, aka Dirty D.
Dirty D.
Dirty D. When your name is Dirty D, you know what you're getting in for.
I
With that guy.
It was a little much.
I forgot to tell you, there is a Ramones tribute coming to Louis G's here pretty soon.
Whoa.
That's so.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
And it's called the D's, I think. The D's or the DDs.
Oh, the DDs.
What was the one with the Cure tribute that we just saw?
Oh,
Was that
they-
Luigi's?
They were freaking
Oh
really
my
good.
god, they were amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing.
In fact, I saw them play. I didn't see them play, but I saw them that they were playing somewhere else shortly after that, and I was intrigued by that. I wanted to check them out sometime.
Well, I've got the recording, so you could actually
Yeah.
check it out and listen to it and stuff. It's pretty cool.
That is cool. Yep. Just getting my bearings. We're in the last segment now of our show. We're winding it down today. Cure tribute. What am I thinking? Oh, I just made a joke to someone. Dave.
Oh, the
Picotta.
Love Cats.
The what?
The
Love
Love
Cats.
Cats.
Yeah,
The Love
Love
Cats is
Cats,
the name
yeah.
of the band. There you go. Good job. Thanks. I told Dave Takata he needs to make some solo albums doing metal renditions of Cure covers all sang in Japanese.
There you go.
There we go.
I think that'd be wonderful. Yeah. He'd make millions.
He would.
I dig it.
There's this old the Scorpions album live, Tokyo Tapes. Tokyo
Yeah.
Tapes.
They had a lot of stuff like
They sing a Japanese folk song in that set. So Klaus Meine is singing Japanese, and it's actually great. It's a great song. It's just this beautiful little folk song. Klaus Meine had a pretty great voice, actually, in the first place. I love some old Scorpions. I think that's a great band.
All right.
Yep. Awkward pause. We're so good about not and just plowing through and having conversations, and every once in a while there's an awkward pause. And then as a producer of the show, then I have to stop and think, this is so awkward. It's so awkward. What do I do? What am I going to do in editing? I'm already there. I'm already in now. I'm in editing. What am I going to do for that awkward pause? Most of the time I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to do anything.
Just put words that say awkward silence.
I'm so
Applause.
less concerned with the video these
Crickets.
days. Like, I like to have the video, but I've been doing less to it because every single thing that I do to video just takes up more time. So I'm becoming one of those people who am doing less to it overall. Like, I would throw more pictures in before and have fun and put subtitles and things like that. And I'm still maintaining and having transitions and all this, but I don't have tons of time. Like, and I'm not making any excuses, nor am I bitching about anything, because I sure like the whole thing that we do, like
This is fun.
what we do and how low key it is and how low maintenance it is. It takes time throughout my week to finish the show and then get ready for the next show or whatever,
Yeah.
however that works. And I don't at all care about that. It's completely fun and fine. And I learn more and stuff too doing it. But I still have all these other things that occupy my time. And I have a life that is, while it's mellow, it's not high maintenance, but it's consistent maintenance. Like I have to just maintain shit all the time. Unlike, I don't have some luxuries that some people have. So in that sense, I'm working around a lot of obstacles, and I just have to keep some things as stripped down as possible. And I mentioned that before. I'm so glad that I just laid out a format that is simplistic. It's just basic. It can come and be done very easily. When I deviate from it, like it becomes instantly complicated and awkward. Not that I'm at all lazy about it. I just don't have the luxury of that amount of time. And as it is, I'm starting to slack on the videos also. They're starting to come out later and later in the week. So I need to get back on track, just adjust a little bit. It's constant readjustment with everything.
Life.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I was saying earlier, like I was just getting ahead on some songs for a week or two, and then I got stopped right in the middle of that. And now I had enough songs laid out for today. That was great. Everything was fine there. But there's still just all different things. I want to get tapes recorded. I've not recorded any tapes. The 45s and the records that I've recorded, they've gotten a little bit better. The stuff that I put on the last week's show, I was much happier with some of those than some of the previous things. But
So that volume adjustment kind of helped a little
kind
bit.
of. Now I turned the volume down, all the way down, and never turned it back up because it's feeding a hot signal with the volume all the way down.
Exactly.
So I don't know why that is, but that did diminish the stuff somewhat. Okay, I'm gonna have to hit this so you can take over the conversation. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering how that would work because I haven't been here actually hands-on with the gear trying to figure out if the volume adjustment works. Because, I mean, it's tricky, especially when you're using more than one device in conjunction with the other one. So if you have, the more you have in a row, the more you have to worry about, everything from ground issues to balance signals and whatnot. So it can get tricky sometimes. You just never know what you're going to end up with. So you just kind of have to just, tinker with it, toy with it. So usually it always takes a little bit of time, but once you get it, it's all piece of cake after that, because then you know. It's like I had this buzz in the PA at the club, and I knew which wire it was, but I knew where it buzzed at the box. I didn't know where it buzzed at their system because I didn't plug any of the wires in. I just handed him wires and he plugged them in.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to basically turn music on the PA into the monitor and just start unplugging wires until it turned off. And once it turned off, I just assumed that was the same wire from one end to the other. So then I ran a new wire over the top because there were so many wires back there I couldn't pull it out.
Uh-huh.
So I ran another wire over the top of that, and it so happened to be the proper wire, which was good because if it didn't, then it would have been bad.
Yeah. Sometimes troubleshooting things like this can be very hard. I know. Yeah. I've had some nightmares. Just hours and hours of, okay, this chord. This chord. Okay.
Shake this one. See what happens.
And actually less so with you, although I've done probably more stuff with you. But I mean, again, I also have. I remember some stuff there at the Cedarwood with some of the stuff that was fed up through the floors and stuff. Yeah, I remember a couple of those.
Well, yeah, it's tricky and painful sometimes.
Well, my butt feels better on this chair.
Oh, that's good. I was actually
glad to hear that.
even going to say, like, if we needed any cushions or something, I could make that even better. But as long as I figure I don't even know, but I would like a more better permanent chair there for you. And I feel like we will get something because I know there's other chairs around here, and maybe we can pull one out.
Well, the structure of it is great.
Yeah, it's a nice chair.
It's a nice chair.
Yeah.
Yep. Better than that roly-poly over there.
Huh.
I do like this idea we were talking about of the phone line, and
Yes.
because it's just I've got it. It's just sitting there. It's unused, completely unused, and it can only be on when we do the show. We can even like look into getting one of those phones with multiple lines. And it's MAWPCAST 1, hold please. MAWPCAST.
Cool.
And
Receptionist.
That'd be killer.
in this way, we can have contests and give stuff away. I used to win so much shit off the radio, dude. Like
Oh, I
as soon as
remember.
I discovered that I
remember.
could, like, and I discovered it at a young age. Like KISW used to have Double Shot Thursdays.
Oh, yeah.
That's where it all was born from. That I had this obsession with winning a Double Shot Thursday, and like so this started really early, and it started, and I worked
ever win?
fucking hard. Yeah, I won. I won it like 2 or 3 times. I won it at least twice. I know for sure. I might have won it 3 times, but the wins started to become a blur for me because I won things off every radio station that there was. Like even stations I didn't listen to or didn't like. It would be like they're having a contest. I'm going to call. We would be in a car with someone, or not in a car because we didn't have cell phones these days.
Oh,
but you know. But I did at certain times say, pull over, cell phone, you know, or just a payphone. And I would try at payphones, you know, if they had a toll-free number. And I felt like I could do it. But Double Shot Thursdays was where it started. And I don't know if it was the first one, but it might have been the first one that I ever won. Was on a song by Bonham, the band Bonham,
Yeah.
which was Jason Bonham's band.
Yep.
And the song started, and I started freaking out because they had one song out. They only had one song out. They had released a single. It was like 2 weeks old, and I was like, "This is the song. They're only going to play one song. They're not going to play 2 songs. They haven't released a second single yet." And so I on the phone, smashing. It was busy, but finally it started ringing, and it rang, and then it hung up. Oh fuck. And this would go on. This went on to happen a lot in my life. This was something that would happen. So then I tried again, and it was busy. And I fuck, piss. Tried again, and it rang again. I was like, oh, thank God, it rang. It rang. And then the song ended, and they didn't pick up. And we're into the next song. And I'm like, oh, come on, man, I gotta win this. I am the guy. I won it. I'm like 13 years old or whatever old I am. It's like I've got to have won, and I did. I won the $100. And so they had a thing where you couldn't win so many months or between things. So that's off the table for a long time now. But then I had a taste for winning, and I could win other things at that point. And so then I jumped to KZOK, and like I was saying, I'd win stuff off stations I didn't even listen to, like KPLZ. They were giving away some tickets to Bad English once, and I won those tickets to Bad English, gave those to my mom. I didn't want them. Although Neil Sean, I think, was in that band, right? Yeah. So I probably would have at least appreciated the fuck out of Neil Sean, because I do love his guitar playing.
I'm sure your mom had a good time.
Yeah, she did. I once was standing outside of 7-Eleven waiting for my girlfriend to pick me up back in the 90s, and just standing out there, waiting, nothing to do. You know, I already smoked a cigarette. So I pick up the payphone, dial KISW's number because I know the number, 1-800-421-ROCK. At least it was. It probably still is. I don't know. But I call him up. Dude picks up the phone. Yeah, KISW. What did I win? What do you mean? What did I win? What did you win? Said, yeah, man, what did I win? It's like, hang on just a second. I'm hanging on. Holds you on hold. He comes back. He's like, how about $100 camping? How about $100 gift certificate to Camping World? I was like, dude, that sounds fucking fantastic.
I'll take that.
Yeah. I won $100 gift certificate to IKEA once, and man, at that time, like 2003, I got so much shit from IKEA for $100. Like you just wouldn't have believed it. Like, and KGRG, I remember this was one thing. I just won so many tickets to concerts because in the late 80s and early 90s, they were giveaways, so many tickets to shows, local shows at their place at the Green River Community College and then other places. And so I got to see tons of shows from those tickets. And from all these other radio stations like KZOK and KISW, seen Ozzy and stuff from that, and ton. I can't even remember all the stuff. We probably don't got time to get into all that stuff. Feels like there's something on me. It's one of those things where if you try, I don't know about the age of cell phones, although I have won even in the age of cell phones, because that was I think the last time I won anything was probably about 10 years ago, maybe, when I won the tickets to the Ozzy on the Black Rain tour. I think it was.
What made you stop trying to win?
Listening to the radio. You really just not listening to them while they're like active. You got to just be on it, like and it's not even that I've completely stopped trying, because occasionally I'll just give it a soft try. It's like, but I'm really not as aggressive about it anymore. That Ozzy show, I was like, this would be fun to go see, and I just again felt like part of it comes with it, just like, oh, I can win this. I can feel it. I can just feel like, oh, I could win that. I could, and I'll just go for that feeling, all the way. This is the MAWPCAST 1, and we're done. We're over for the day, and we're gonna take you out with songs. Like us and share the show if you are into that, and get people into it, and support local music, and find the bands and the links down below, and support them, buy their merchandise and their albums, and go to their shows. And thanks for all of your continued support, because we've had a lot of interest and a lot of downloads and a lot of people checking us out, and it's great. And we do it because it's lots of fun. Thank you.
Toodles.
if I die? Maybe I'm ashamed, maybe I'm to blame. Will I find a way if I try? So weak and so strong in this fight for life.
Campaign Records. Got my nigga Radius on this track. Yeah. You know how we do it. 253 proof in the booth. Motherfuckers, outlaw lifestyle. What's cracking? Yeah.
Level of satisfaction of the action-packed mashing. I'm fashion with those weapons for deceptions. I'm so Western, better than the rest of the motherfuckers. So back the fuck up off me. Single-handedly smashing annually. Rhyme for the currency in the motherfucking family. All the way to the 3rd degree. OLTC tattooed on D. It's all a part of me. With this thoughts are taking off. All of the middle of the night. But niggas don't fight, they just blast on sight. It ain't right, it's all wrong and done. Cause niggas be fucking up for fun. When I just need the fun, fuck number one. I'll be the last to still blast. Master your gas to the fast. It's just the outlaw mash. Guaranteed to get the job done. King X the fucking done. Shoot first, ask questions never, ever. So write a letter to the editor and tell them about this outlaw lifestyle.
Outlaw lifestyle, it gets better in this outlaw lifestyle. I'm under pressure in this outlaw lifestyle. Can't trust the brothers in this outlaw lifestyle. Can't trust the others in this outlaw lifestyle. It gets better in this outlaw lifestyle. I'm under pressure in this outlaw lifestyle. Can't trust the others in this outlaw lifestyle. Can't trust the others.
Now the conflict don't help with the mental chemical imbalances. You must have thought you was dealing with someone else. I move with intelligence and group with the savages. Lose the ages and cut down the back road for catching cases. I'm too smart for that though. Even though I got plenty of partners still in the hole, losing control, still on that ass. If you try to talk shit though, poof up your cheeks. Meanwhile, back on the streets, you got motherfuckers that'll swoop up a heat and sweep you off your feet. In the midst of beef, the shit get deep. Fucking with this outlaw mentality, feel like the whole world after me, trying to capture me. PD thinking I'm trafficking, haters trying to blast at me. Yeah, so I blast them first. It's the outlaw lifestyle. Boy, if you scared, go to church.
Outlaw lifestyle, it gets better in this outlaw lifestyle. I'm under pressure in this outlaw lifestyle. Can't trust the others in this outlaw lifestyle. Can't trust the others in this outlaw lifestyle. It gets better in this outlaw lifestyle. I'm under pressure in this outlaw lifestyle. Can't trust the others in this outlaw lifestyle. Can't trust the others.
It's the visionary King X and the RADIUS TAC 253ZOUTLAWS A&W left for the coast. Representatives hated the most just cause they can't do it like this. Live it and breathe it like this, read it and weak. This outlaw lifestyle ain't for just anybody. The weak and the with holes in their body, and only the strong make it through. You better dig what I'm telling you, homie, you got me.
Connected with a nexus, mash it with the fury, blowing smoke with my necklace. Outlaw reckless, the west is the biz. Avoid bloody footsteps, danger from a stranger's chamber. So much anger and pain, cocaine slang, just to maintain in this
outlaw lifestyle. It gets better in this outlaw lifestyle. I'm under pressure in this outlaw lifestyle. Can't trust the others in this outlaw lifestyle. Can't trust the others in this outlaw lifestyle. It gets better in this outlaw lifestyle. I'm under pressure in this outlaw lifestyle. Can't trust the others in this outlaw lifestyle. Can't trust the others.
Alright, yeah. You know you done fucked up.
Sure did.
King X Radius on the same track?
Yeah.
At the same time?
Sure.
Y'all ain't ready. Outlaw lifestyle, homie.
Yeah.
What's cracking with it? Holla at us.
Holla.
Right here.
Sure. Holla at us. You know what I'm saying? We out here in this taxi life, living this outlaw lifestyle. This go out to all my outlaws out there dodging the motherfucking law. You know what I'm saying? Trying to stay above water and shit. 253% elite campaign.
Crazy, 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 crazy,
I'll put a seed in your heart, let it grow all night. Let it grow all right. Tell me your mind. Before I say life now, 'cause now I'm small I can bear. The way you treat is not fair, oh baby, baby. Oh no, no. Wanna talk 'cause you're right. Oh no. What is love? Yeah, that's love. It's up in your heart. I won't tell you no lies. You can see it in my eyes. It's alright. Yeah. Go don't take me back. Oh, I love on you. It's alright. It's alright, darling. It's alright, darling. It's alright, darling. It's alright. It's getting late. Oh, we must stop, darling. Now, how long can I wait? Now much more I can take. Oh, baby, yeah. Oh, now don't close your eyes. Oh, no. Oh, this love, oh, yeah, there's love. It's up in your heart. Oh, oh, oh.
It's good. My voice in it. That's good. I see the full moon on the right. I hear that lonesome whistle blow. Please don't cry, don't know why I know. It's time for me to go. Might as well just save your breath. 'Cause if I had an echo every time I left, I'd have exactly $1.35. I won't come around here no more. I don't wanna see you no more. Don't come knocking at my door. 'Cause I won't let you in. rise. I hear that lonesome whistle. Please don't cry, don't know why I know. It's time for me to go.
I can't even put my faith in me.